Hello, and welcome to CatavanCast, Van Life with a Cat. It's the show where we discuss our experiences travelling through the many countries of Europe and beyond in a camper van. I'm Ben.
I'm Frey, and Dargo mightn't. Oh no, she's on a different chair today.
A different black chair.
Yes, the one right next to the one from all the other episodes.
Yes. To point out at the start, we are still in an Airbnb in Athens at the moment. We're just recording a load of these in one go while we're here. So the acoustics are a bit off. Not a lot of soft furnishings in here, unfortunately.
No.
So there is a little bit of an echo, which we don't normally get. We never realised how well sound insulated the van was.
Well, it's
just a bed, isn't
it?
it?
It's just soft furnishings everywhere in a small space, so, yeah.
But this episode, we're talking about Russia.
Yes.
It's a big one.
Yes.
This is my first time out of Europe on this side.
Mm-hmm.
No, I had been to Switzerland before, so out of political Europe. Although not continental, we're still in continental Europe, of course.
Yes.
But outside of the EU.
Yes.
It was our first hard border crossing.
It was.
Which we were a bit worried about because it's Russia.
Yeah, there's plenty of concerns to do with Russia before going.
Yeah, so there's a lot of preconceptions before going to Russia.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I'll do my usual, again from the RAC website.
Yes.
These are what they list. Considering other countries, quite a small list of legal requirements that are on there. As with a lot of countries, foreigners must be 18 to drive in Russia.
Okay.
Russia is also the first country where we required an international driving permit. Specifically, International Driving Permit 1949.
Okay.
That's the one you need. Now, we got those. We must have had to show them.
We got all three.
Yes.
But I don't think we had to show them at all.
No. But they're just little brown cards, aren't they?
Yes.
They list what countries. And there's about...
there's three of them.
Three of them. One of them literally covers like Somalia and one of the...
Mexico, I think, or something like that.
It can't have been because we got it. We wouldn't have got that otherwise.
Oh, true.
There's like some like...
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, there
That's
you go.
it.
Like, so, what did I Somalia and Liechtenstein? It's literally that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then another one covers pretty much every other country.
Everything. I think that's the 1962 one.
Yeah.
Their numbers correspond with what year
Yes.
those countries signed on to that agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But for Russia, it's the 1949 one you want. And we got ours, you just went to a post office, didn't we?
Yes.
And they have them. The woman didn't seem very confident in what she was doing.
I don't think it's very common for people to request these.
That's true, but it is also a bit, if they're not confident about it, we're the ones that are going to roll up to a border and try and get in with it. As it happens, we didn't need it, but we'll get into detail about the border crossing momentarily.
Okay.
When you're driving into Russia, at all times in your vehicle, you must have your driving license, your international driving permit, as we said, the green card, proof of insurance. Mm-hmm. You will need your passport, you need your vehicle registration, and you will need your visa.
Yes.
Again, visas, we might as well touch on this now.
Yeah.
In the UK, you have, was it 3 places you can go?
Yes, London, Manchester, and Edinburgh.
Yes, and Edinburgh had a shorter
Edinburgh's
wait time.
processing time is 1 week.
Yep.
Purely because they have less traffic.
Yes.
London's processing time is 1 month.
I think Manchester was similar as well, wasn't it? Yes.
Manchester ones come down to London to be processed.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, so London, okay, fair enough. But we went down to the London one because Edinburgh is too far away.
Yes.
And you can have them posted to you?
You can, yes. I think it's an extra like £14 per passport.
Yes, but as it happened, at the end of the month, I was going to be spending some time down in London.
Yeah.
And luckily I had the option to go in and pick them up as I was passing through. It was £100 each.
Yes.
And you need all sorts of things, don't you? You need proof of income, address.
So there's an application form to fill in.
Yes.
Which isn't as complicated as a lot of people on the internet make it out to be.
Yeah, it's quite, as I remember, it's a detailed form.
It is a detailed form, but it's nothing out of the ordinary for, just information that you should already know about yourself, really.
But I think the most odd information they wanted was about your parents' date of birth and things like that.
Yeah, and location of birth as well.
Yes, but again, nothing crazy.
Too strange.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Sorry, you're smirking at me. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like asking you what breed your first pet was or anything.
What blood type you are.
Exactly.
But you also need an invitation, don't you?
You do. So Russia, similar to a lot of other countries, you require an invitation to the country. Now, this, at the face of it, and when I was doing research for it, seems quite complicated, and it's not. There are travel agencies which you can get in contact with, and I think it's something like £20.
Yes.
I want to say per person.
Yeah.
And you have to be quite precise and accurate with the information, however. So you need your full name, I think your date of birth, and the exact dates that you're going to be staying there. Now, the visas are valid for 30 days.
Yes.
So it's best and it's recommended for you to put down those 30 days for your invitation request. There are travel agencies that you can just send this information off to. They will just send you a PDF through which says you are Ben, this is your date of birth, you're staying at this hotel in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
From this date to this date, and that's all that it is, and you've got to include that with your application.
Yes.
Now, whether or not that's true doesn't really matter.
No.
Because they don't really check it as far as the government's concerned. You've got an invitation to come in.
Yeah. We weren't asked any questions about it. Well, I think we got the visa, and that's it. I think we had copies of our invitations.
Yeah.
But once we had the visa, that's all they want at the border.
Yeah.
With regards to that, they
Exactly.
don't want your. We did have them, but they don't want your invitation.
No.
Or proof of invitation.
No.
I think the assumption is where you've been given a visa, so you obviously have it.
Yeah. Alongside that, so that's I've forgotten already. You'll obviously need a passport.
Yes.
Which is in date, and I think it needs either 6 or 9 months on it.
Yeah.
You'll need this invitation, £100, the application form. I think that's it. I think bank statements. Yes, I think it's like 3 months bank statements as well, showing that you've got enough funds in there.
Yes.
For your stay, for your full 1 month stay in the country. Doesn't matter whether or not you're staying less than that.
Yeah.
And that's it. You go down to London with your forms printed in duplicate.
Okay.
I believe. You need 2 passport photos.
Yes.
And all of that information, you go down to the embassy, take a number, sit down, they'll call you up, hand over all this documentation to a lady behind the counter, pay your money, and come back in a month's time.
Yeah. That does mean you're a month without your passport.
You are.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. Again, forward planning is needed. And make sure you keep a hold of the receipt that lady gives you.
Yes.
Because that's your only key to getting your passport back.
Yes. Of course, we found all that out online.
It's quite difficult to find that all online.
But it must be said that if you can just go to the embassy and they have computers and printers there. They don't have photo booths there, I don't think. So you can't get, because you need your extra passport size photos. But all your other documentation you can get down there at the place. You will be there a lot longer. The process will take a lot longer because you're doing it on the spot. But if you do have things missing, you can get it while you're there on the computers. They won't do it for you. You'll have to leave the queue, use their machines.
I think that's only the application forms, though. Obviously, the invitation letters and such you can't do.
No,
but if there is an error in your application form, you can edit that at the computers available.
Yeah.
And print it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get your visa back. No, you don't. You get your passport back with a visa in it, and they've just stuck it down.
Yeah.
Over. It's as if it's a whole page. We actually had trouble at other borders, didn't we?
Yes.
Because it looks like your proper passport information.
Yeah.
Bit, and someone was trying to
scan that.
No, that's a Russian visa.
that's not the right thing. Sorry.
Yes, that's your visa, which you will need to get through the border, obviously. and you will need on you at all time. You're advised to carry your passport around with you.
Yes.
We'll come back to that soon, but
Yeah.
you can be stopped randomly by police and asked for this information. Other things you will need, and according to the RAC website, heavy fines may be incurred for not having any of the following items in your vehicle. There's a warning triangle, headlight deflectors if you're on a right-hand drive vehicle,
Yep.
first aid kit with a fire extinguisher,
Yep.
and spare bulbs.
Okay.
You must have all these things. You can get fined. Will say, it pointed out, it is illegal to pay fines in cash. They must be done through the bank.
Oh, okay.
So the police will not.
Interesting.
The police will not stop you if anyone pulls over and says they're police and demands money. They are not police.
Yeah.
They're just crazy angry Russians. But I don't think that will happen.
No.
Because they're so nice. But we'll
get to that.
We'll come back to that. Breaking all the stereotypes on this episode. Minimum protective equipment for motorcyclists is a crash helmet. Interestingly, for scooters, no passengers on scooters, except for children up to the age of 7 with a special seat fitted.
So that's just scooters, not motorcycles?
Yeah, motorcycles are fine.
Okay, good.
Scooters, no passengers.
Okay.
Obviously, we see a lot of motorhomes. You'll have a scooter on the back, and you'll park outside and use that. If there's 2 of you, you can't do that in Russia.
Not allowed.
Not
Okay.
allowed. Not allowed. You must wear a seatbelt at all times. That's the driver and every passenger in
Cool.
there. You must wear a seatbelt. And you shouldn't be drink driving anyway, but Russia has a complete zero tolerance to drink driving. If they breathalyze you, it's all done by breathalyzers. If you are above 0%, well, it doesn't say what will happen to you, but it's either going to be a massive fine or maybe imprisonment or whatever.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing it anyway, but yeah, really don't do it. Again, breaking stereotypes.
I know.
Complete zero tolerance on alcohol. Arguably one of the more pleasant things, or most pleasant things about Russia is the fuel.
Yes.
It's cheap.
It's nice and cheap.
My word, it's cheap.
Especially if you're coming from Scandinavia.
Yes. We had a full tank of diesel. Cost us about £30.
Yeah.
However, like in cities and the built-up areas, you'll find petrol stations no problem. Of course, Russia is rather vast. I think the RAC site said it's over 17 million square kilometres.
Jesus.
There's a lot of distance there. Once you get out of the built-up areas, they can be scarce.
Yeah.
The RAC actually advises you to keep a spare tank of fuel with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We never had any problems because we never went that far.
No, we were
out.
we were quite a populous area, weren't we?
Yes. There is also LPG available there. We were filling up at one point, and they have LPG cars are more common in Russia than we've seen anywhere else. But they are less. Not every petrol station has LPG pumps, and in some areas there are not many petrol stations at all.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. And that's it, really. I was expecting a bigger list of legal things for Russia, but there really wasn't.
No.
Again, Russia, surprising at every turn.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we mentioned on the last episode, obviously we've just been in Finland and we'd spent the night or the morning of our border crossing in, not Turku, no.
Kotka.
Kotka, there you go. And we got the van ready to go. After our experience crossing the border in Norway,
Yeah.
if anyone missed that episode, we got stopped by a random police checkpoint.
Yeah.
And the guy went through everything in quite a rude, I suppose.
An aggressive manner.
Yes.
Yes.
He ripped some of our boxes. He went through. We had the bed made. He wanted to get under the bed, so we had to throw everything out of the way. So we thought, right, first hard border, going into Russia.
Plus it's Russia.
It's Russia. No messing about. So we put the bed away. We made everything as accessible as possible. We had all our documents up with us. We thought, right, if they ask us for anything, we'll have it.
Yeah.
We'll be ready. So off we went. We did have to get some fuel, but we got as little as possible to get us across the border because we knew it was going to be cheap the other side. We crossed the border near, again, it's a Scandinavian name, so I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Valimar.
I don't think it's
Not
Valima.
Not
But
sure.
yes.
Which is one of the lesser used border crossings.
Yes, it's obviously Finland to Russia, but it's down towards the
South coast.
south coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have heard that in some borders some border crossings with Finland and with Estonia, they require you to book a time, and you arrive in that time slot. This isn't one of those crossings, so you just roll up and go with it.
Yeah.
The Finnish side was very easy.
Yeah.
You roll up. There's a big, huge straight road with loads of lanes, and the signs telling you to keep to the speed limit. You'll get to some traffic lights.
Yeah.
They let cars through a wave at a time. You go up to the barrier, it tells you to stop. Everybody gets out. You bring your documents with you. I think that was just a passport check, and they wanted the registration documents for the van. They were very friendly, very polite. You go through. We did take our pet passport with us, with the cat. Yeah. No one's interested, although it does strike up conversation with some people.
It does, yes.
You find out who the cat people are when you're travelling with the cat. And they always seem more helpful to you when you're doing
that. Exactly. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay, you're clearly a cool person.
So we did that. Everybody gets back in their cars. Once everybody's in, they open the barrier. You all go through.
Yep.
Through no man's land.
Yep.
On the way to the Russian border.
Yeah, which is about 1 kilometre, I think. Maybe
Something
a kilometre and a half.
It was, it's not like through and then you're there.
No.
It was a few twists and turns and hills. And then you're there, and there's just a big building with outside, it was partially covered, like, not pillboxes, but like booths. Yeah. Like toll booth things. And there were cars parked in many lanes. There weren't too many people there. I think as we were waiting, the queue behind us started getting pretty big, so we got lucky. And we're just sort of looking around trying to see what everybody's doing, and we couldn't figure out any sort of logic to it.
No.
So I saw an information board near the front, so I got out and walked over to it, and every bit of it was in Russian. Well, I think they were instructions, but there's not even any Finnish.
No.
Like, it's all in Russian. Okay, so I think I then queued up to get the passports.
I think we both went.
Checked. We both went and got the passports checked. Again, they weren't interested in the pet passport.
Nope.
And that's when they gave us the little slip, wasn't it?
Yes, and stamped the visa in the passport.
Yes.
Yes.
So they stamped a passport and they gave us a little slip. Do you want to explain about the little slip?
Yes. So that little slip you need to have on you at all times, and especially keep it safe for when you are exiting Russia.
Yes.
That is your lifeline.
Yes.
It's about the size of a passport.
It sits nicely in a passport.
Exactly, so you can tuck in there, which is fine. And it just has essential information. I think it has your visa number on there, your name, where you entered, when you entered.
Yeah.
And then obviously the official stamp of the person who's let you in.
And that's something else, that you should have your passport on you at all times. You should also have that on you at all times, because the police, if they suspect you for any reason, if they think you're foreign, they can stop you and ask to see these documents. If you don't have them, don't want to know. We don't want to know. We don't know.
Exactly.
Just have them on you.
Yeah.
And then just thank you very much. We never got stopped.
Nope.
We walked past plenty of police, plenty of guards. We never got stopped for anything. So yeah, but you must have them on you.
Yeah.
We were then given no further instruction, so we got back in the van and waited in the queue. We were then asked for customs papers, I believe. Yes, custom papers.
Yes.
Which we didn't have.
Nope.
We haven't got, so he got us to move the van out of the queue. And then luckily they got a woman guard who spoke a bit of English. And she gave me 2 forms. Yep. Which are identical. Yep. And it has to be the driver of the vehicle.
Yes.
Whoever's driving at that time must come out and do this thing.
Yep.
And looking between the two, because you have the booths and they have a window at either side. And in the middle, there were, not laminated, like in solid plastic casings on like, you know, like when you buy a poster in a shop?
Yeah.
They're on the hinge
frames,
sort of
the
thing.
little frames, yeah.
In many, many different languages, examples of this filled out.
Oh, okay.
So I was given 2, so I thought, okay, 1 for me, 1 for you.
Yeah.
So I filled mine out, I filled yours out, and then I got in the queue. I had my V5 document with me. Luckily, the guy in the window spoke pretty good English. I don't think he's seen a V5 ever in his life.
I don't think most people have seen V5.
I remember, I think he said, V5, oh, you're British. He's like, oh, right, okay. He's trying to figure out what everything is. Then there was confusion because, obviously, it's your vehicle. Yeah. But my name was on top of the form. Yeah. And then he saw the other form. He's like, no, these are both what wasn't made clear to me is the form I have to fill out is just with the driver details on. Yes. But you have to fill it out twice.
Yes.
One I keep,
Yep.
and one they get.
Yep.
Now I did notice that they had photocopiers in their little office, so I don't know why we had to do that. But again, this is something else. The form you keep, you will need on your way out of the country.
Yes.
Again, it's stamped, dated. He probably signs it.
Yeah.
And it's just information about us, well, me, the driver, where I'm from, where I'm going, and about the vehicle itself, the size of the engine, the year it was made.
Yeah.
Things like that. There were parts of the form for the value of the contents of the van.
Yeah.
I was told not to worry about that.
Okay.
I asked the woman and then I asked the chap and said, no, don't worry about those. And then that was it. We got those filled out. We had our customs papers.
Yep.
We then got back in the queue.
Yep.
They then asked us to open all the doors. I thought, right, this is it. They're going to go through everything. They literally, he stuck his head in the side door. No sooner had I got the back doors open, he stuck his head in the side door, looked, and said, no, that's it, carry on.
You're fine.
I was like, do you not want to check this cupboard? Do you want to, we could have anything in here. Do you not want to look?
Do you know how many people we could hide in the bathroom?
Well, that is what really surprised me. Like, we have a bathroom with a separate door, which is closed.
Yeah.
And he didn't even glance at it.
No.
No sooner were all the doors open than he wanted us to close the doors and be off again.
Yeah.
And so we went off again. And we were in Russia, and that took about 45 minutes.
Was it only 45 minutes?
Well, according to the time thing you were keeping in your notebook, yeah. We got there at about 11:15, just before, and we left there at about 11:53. We were not there very long at all. Well, I think we just got a quiet day.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that quick.
Well, that's what you've written down.
Let me just go with a quick look.
Okay, fine.
Because I don't want to be giving people false hopes.
Okay, well, it really didn't take that long.
I don't think it took that long, no. It was a very quick border crossing.
Yeah. Well, I think we got there, it was a Friday morning, and it just happened to be quiet. It's hardly peak tourist season. I don't think they get many tourists. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But we weren't in the clear yet, because most insurance does not cover outside the EU, motor insurance.
Uh-huh.
So we needed motor insurance.
Yep.
Luckily in Russia, there are little kiosks just on the main road as you enter the country.
Yes.
So we found one of those, and again, I think that didn't take long either. That was about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe. The woman didn't speak a lick of English.
No, but we got by.
There was lots of pointing. We just had our passport, our V5, and there was a calendar. And we got ourselves 5 days of insurance.
Yep.
For, and I've got this because you wrote this down as well, £25.55.
There you go.
And that's for unlimited miles, just for the 5 days though. And yeah, well, that will do us. Just go to St. Petersburg and then come out again. Because again, at this point we were worried about the cold. We'd had frozen pipes in Finland. We wanted to head south, get to the warm places.
Yeah.
So once we had the insurance, although unfortunately that was only for one driver.
Yes.
Me.
Yeah.
So unfortunately you didn't get to drive in Russia.
That's fine.
So then we went to go and get fuel.
Yep.
And that's when we found out that fuel is £30 for a whole tank. Although that was an interesting one because I got out. This is the first place, I think, where the norm is that someone else comes to do your fuel.
Okay.
If you remember?
Yeah.
Because the woman came out and was sort of, she didn't speak any English, obviously I don't speak any Russian, and I've already got the nozzle trying to get it in. But then she sort of took over. Then I went in to pay, and I'd inadvertently paid for the guy before me. But again, the guy at the counter didn't speak any English, so we sort of had to piece all this together ourselves. But we did, and he refunded me, and then we paid for what we did have. And then we were off. We were out. We were in Russia.
Yes.
All filled up, all legal.
On the road.
On the road. And we had a long run from there to... We were going straight to St. Petersburg.
Yes.
We'd pre-booked a camper van site in just out the centre of St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So we were actually in St. Petersburg itself. And we booked 2 nights there. We ended up extending it for another stay. But we had to get all the way there tonight. We didn't want to risk wild camping in Russia.
No.
Looking back now, I think we could have done.
I think we could have done it easily, but at the same time, it was our first time in Russia.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And preconceptions about Russia. Oh, we never talked about the incredibly Russian man when we went to go and get insurance.
Yeah.
So on that main road, obviously on the big dual carriageway around the borders, there were passport checks just on the road, and it's just a guy next to a barrier who just asks to see your passport and you carry on.
Yeah.
How would you describe?
He's just a typical Russian man. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's wearing the Russian hat. He's wearing like army clothes, and it's like, yep, okay.
Yeah. Like he's smoking without using his hands as well.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And he's like, your passports? And he's like, yes. And he's like, carry on. Like, have a good day. Thank you.
Don't think you're allowed to do the accent.
Oh, yes, not allowed to do the accent. No, sorry. But driving in Russia was, thinking about it now, it's quite similar to driving in Greece.
Really?
In that, a lot of roads, because they were mainly back roads. So we went from, I'm going to pronounce it right, Valima. And we went through Vyborg.
Yeah.
And then down into St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So between the towns and the cities, it was I suppose you call them the country roads.
Yeah.
And most of them were dual carriageway. But even when they weren't dual carriageway, they're like Greece in that it's a single carriageway, but the hard shoulder is huge.
Yeah.
Which means when people come up behind you, you just move over onto the dual carriageway while still driving.
Yeah.
And then they'll overtake you. And no one comes up aggressively behind you. There's no one flashing lights or beeping, anything like that.
No.
Because that's when we started to see snow as well.
Yes.
So it's literally just big straight roads, pine trees lining them, and snow.
And snow.
Yeah.
So you were in Russia.
But the one difference, they're almost more friendly driving out on those roads in Russia than they are in Greece, because every time I moved over for someone to go past, we got a flash of the hazards as a thank you.
Yeah.
And it was almost every single person that overtook us just gave us a nice thank you. We sort of set the tone.
It kind of gives you a gauge of how nice the people of a country are.
Yeah.
As to how nice they are when they're driving, really.
But there was one Russian stereotype, that was confirmed for us on the drive through Vyborg. Because that road was closed, wasn't it?
Exploding roads.
A road had exploded.
We're literally coming into the top end of Vyborg, and there's a road closed. Like, oh, okay, there's a diversion, it's fine, we'll go around. And I looked around past the bollards, and the road had exploded. And I was like, this is brilliant. We're in Russia.
Yeah. And we went, so it was quite nice, quite interesting going through Vyborg. You're like, okay, this is a town.
Yeah.
This is a Russian town.
Yeah.
Which, not much different. I mean, we hadn't seen anything quite like that at this point.
No.
But it's quite similar to like any other Eastern European backwater, not backwater, but like
smaller
town, less significant town. And then we got into St. Petersburg, as it happened, at about rush hour on a Friday night.
And you were driving.
I was driving, which was pretty hectic.
Yeah.
At the same time, there was so much traffic that you couldn't really bump into anybody.
No.
Because it was just so slow moving. The only issue comes with needing to know what lane you need to be in.
Yeah.
What rules are, things like that. But I do remember they have the overhead cables for trams. And in Russia was the first place where every so often they'll spark.
Really?
Yeah, I think you missed it. We were sat in traffic and a tram sort of went past. So that's the other thing. Got to make sure you're staying out of the tram lanes.
Yeah.
And it sort of went over where the cables have their own little junctions.
Yeah.
And it just sparks. You're like, ooh, okay, right, okay, interesting.
You worry too much.
I do worry too. Well, I mean, Russia, again, I'm so glad we did Russia because it's just sort of completely changed any preconceptions I had.
Yeah.
It challenged almost every preconception I had about the country. We eventually found the place. Again, it was in amongst flats, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
there's a residential area.
Yeah.
And just a campground, basically.
Not camp. You couldn't pitch a tent there because it was all like gravel.
Yeah.
Floor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which had a mechanics, I think it was, at the
Yeah,
entrance.
mechanic or a tyre place just at the end.
Yeah. But it was a proper motorhome campervan campground. They had fresh water points, they had discharge points, they had proper showers with hot water. There was a kitchen.
There was.
Which is incredibly warm.
Yes, that's warm.
Just spent all our time in there. It was run by a father and son.
Yeah.
And the father barely spoke any English, but the son It seems to be what we found in Russia is very few people speak English, but the ones that do are mainly the younger ones.
The younger generation, yeah.
And they were kind enough to help us out. I think that cost us about €20 a night.
I think it was less than that. It was about 18.
Okay, it wasn't far off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but considering we were 20 minutes walk from a metro station.
Mm-hmm.
There was plenty of stuff around for us to see, do, eat, whatever. And it's secure. There's someone there. There was even a watchtower.
Yeah.
And he said someone is there 24/7.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's all night, and then during the day, the mechanical shop's open.
Yeah.
So there's always people there watching. Which I've said that out loud. That sounded actually quite creepy. There's always someone watching. But no, they were very friendly. They helped us out. And as I say, we went in. We wanted to pay for another night because there's so much to see in St. Petersburg. And they were like, yeah, of course, no problem. Of course, that was no problem because we were the only customers there. Because we're in Russia in November now.
Yeah.
So, but no, we were quite glad to find that place. It was very well.
It was very good.
Very good place.
Yeah.
So then we're off into St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Now the first problem we had was buying metro tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in. There are automated machines, but for some reason they weren't.
I don't think they were working.
They just didn't have to be working at the station we were at. So we queued up to speak to the woman, and the ticket menu, I suppose.
List.
There you go. A menu's a list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, half of it was in. One side of it was Russian. The other side was in English.
Yeah.
I think there was stuff in other languages as well. So we found the one we wanted. Now I've tried to look up the ticket we got and how much it cost us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I have got another decent example for it.
Okay.
But the attendant did not speak any English.
No.
And we were saying, oh, it's this one, and she goes, whatever. A guy behind us, again, not speaking any English, just sort of like, didn't grunt at us, said something to us.
He did speak English.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember. But I remember he just pointed at the ticket we wanted, and we said, yeah. And then he talked to the woman.
Yeah.
And got it for us.
Yeah.
And then, boom, just random guy. I think he just wanted us out of the way, but whatever. He helped us out. He wasn't aggressive about it. He wasn't grumpy about it. He just translated for us, and off we go. Again, I can't remember the ticket we got, but I had a look. It must have been something similar to this. Now I've lost it. It was 370 rubles for 10 journeys over the course of a month.
Okay.
Now, 370 rubles at the moment works out to £4.30.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much what we got.
It was cheap.
Yeah. And metro stations will get you within 10 minutes walk of anything you want to see, as I recall. And the metro system itself is very simple. There's only about 3 lines.
I think so.
And there's one main one which gets you to all the big places.
Yeah.
But the stations themselves,
they're amazing.
It's like, think of like the glory of Russia.
Condensed into the metro
into
system.
the metro station. There's like chandeliers in the metro stations. There's like
busts.
Yeah, you go down the stairs. There's like the big Soviet star. There's busts of all the great communist leaders up ahead of you, and there's flags. Well, there's murals of flags and things.
Yeah.
And it's all made out of, I don't know whether it's marble tiles,
probably
pillars. It's all just glorious. It's fantastic. But yeah. They obviously just get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
And the first place we went, can't remember the name of the station, but it ended up being right in the middle of everything.
It was just coincidence.
I think we just took it as a punt, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we picked a station, but we had to change. And then we were like, well, should we just see what's up here?
Yeah.
And we went up, and we were right opposite the one cathedral. And the Orthodox cathedral.
Yeah.
And you're right next to the Moscow-looking one.
The Moscow looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, the Church of the Blood of Christ or something like that? They had the word blood in it.
Then maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But so the tradition, you think of a Russian church.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them in Moscow, but this one's here, and it's the pointy thing with the balls. I'm describing this really badly. But you had
Gaudi towers.
But you had the what?
The Gaudi.
Were they Gaudi?
Structure. I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay. But you had to pay to get in there.
Yeah.
And it was under construction.
Of course it was.
Because
covered in scaffolding, and for God's sake.
It's winter, it's the off season, so some of it was covered in scaffolding. But I think you had to pay the equivalent of about €20 to get in there.
Yeah.
It was quite expensive, so we didn't go in there. But the cathedral was free, and that was the first Orthodox cathedral we'd been in.
Mm-hmm.
And how gaudy they are! Sorry if that offends anybody, but just from going to like
There's a lot of gold.
Yes, from going to like more Western European cathedrals,
Yeah.
where it's just a few stained glass windows and some nice stonework. You go in and there's gold everywhere. And I remember there was a huge queue of people lining up to kiss the picture of Jesus.
Yeah.
Remember, all along the middle,
yeah.
and there's just people kissing pictures all over the place.
Yeah. The Orthodox.
Well, so that was my first exposure to an Orthodox religious building.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the rule in Orthodox buildings, isn't there? Like, women have to cover their heads.
Yes, women have to have their heads covered, and you basically have to dress modestly.
Yes.
Yes.
But men can't have
No.
their heads covered.
No.
So if you're wearing a hat as a man, you have to take it off. As a woman, you've got to put a hat on.
Yeah.
And that's not just in Russia. That's all Orthodox.
That's all Orthodox places. Yeah.
And we said, anyone who listened to our Sweden episode may remember that we said in Stockholm. At that point, Stockholm was my favourite city to explore.
Yeah.
Because wherever you go, you'll see something interesting to look at, you'll head there, and then either on the way or when you get there, you'll see something else to go and see. St. Petersburg is like that, but more.
Yeah.
And
so much more.
So much more, because the architecture is so much more grand there.
Yeah.
These huge... We could spend hours talking about everywhere we went in St. Petersburg and everything we read about. It was such a fascinating city.
Yeah.
Because it was, just briefly, it was a passion project for someone, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And they just wanted a European city.
Yes.
So different elements of the city are based on other European cities.
Yes.
Yes.
The river that runs through it was carved specifically for the city to look more European.
Yes. Didn't the city sink at one point?
I think so.
Marshland or something? Yes. But again, the general vibe of everything just completely shattered any preconceptions about Russia.
I've always wanted to go to Russia because it's Russia. It's just such a different culture from everything that I've experienced, and I'd like to say, without sounding big-headed, that I'm fairly cultured.
Yes.
And fairly well-travelled. But Russia's that one last thing that I hadn't, done and don't know much about. But at the same time, there's concerns because all that I'd ever heard is that it's not very safe for people of my skin coloration.
Yeah.
My melanin count doesn't work in Russia. And, things like if you're in Moscow or anything like that, and you are not white, you need to be dressed businesslike and carry a briefcase with you, even if it's empty. So it looks like that you're there for business, so people don't harass you and mug you and all this kind of stuff. So going to Russia was a bit iffy.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got to Russia, it was like, nah. Like this part of Russia is not like that. I can't speak for the rest of it.
Yeah.
But this part of Russia is good.
Yeah.
Like, we did not get bothered in the slightest. Everybody was super friendly.
Yes.
And
almost eager to help as well
exactly.
in any situation.
And I will go as far as saying that I felt more comfortable in Russia than I have done in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't comment on that, obviously being a white man with no hair.
Blue eyes.
I mean, I had my own sort of reservations because you hear a lot about, mainly football firms and things, like the Russians and the Brits always fight each other. I thought, well, maybe if one of them happens to overhear me speaking, might think, oh, he's English. Yeah. Just kick his head in. But again, white, skinhead. I tend to blend in most places like that and get away with it, sort of thing. But no, it really did seem, well, we were getting LPG at a place. Yeah. And just like the guy at the ticket booth just helped us out. Yeah. Just stepped in to help us out. We were clearly struggling to figure out how the LPG thing worked, and the guy just came in. Yeah. He said, let me show you. We didn't even say it because he didn't speak any English. He just helped us out. Yeah. Have a good day. We knew enough to say thank you. And when you speak, spasiba, wasn't it? Thank you. Spasiba was thank you. And you say that, and they're like, oh, yeah, very good. Like, Yeah. Incredibly friendly people. The main difficulty there, though, is the lack of people that speak English. Yeah, which is more that's our
exactly problem. That's our thing, not theirs.
But that did mean we bottled out going to some restaurants.
Yes.
In fact, we only
We
went...
couldn't find them. Do you not remember? I really wanted to go to that traditional Russian meal.
Oh, yeah.
And we tried finding this place and we could not find it. And I was like, does it exist?
It must have been like a Google Maps issue.
I think exactly.
We ended up just resorting to fast food restaurants which had the self-serve screens, the touch screens. But even then we had trouble because I ordered something at the Burger King.
Yeah.
And I got the thing and the woman said something on... Is she talking to me? I don't know. She wasn't looking right at me. And then she's calling. I'm like, is she calling another... Like, I've got no base for Russian.
That's the
and it turns out she was calling to me for something. I'm just terribly sorry. Not from here, you know.
So rude.
But no, loved it. And so we spent... there's so much to see in St. Petersburg that we booked another night to stop over. So we stopped over there. But then our insurance was starting to run out.
Yeah.
So we left from St. Petersburg and we headed along to Lake Ladoga, which is the largest lake which is entirely in Europe, continental Europe. It's the second largest lake in Russia. There's another one which is partly in Europe. I didn't get the name of that.
Yeah.
And it's 14th largest lake in the world.
In the world, yeah.
And it's the first lake. I know we went to that lake in Sweden. Vänern, where we could just see the other side of it.
Yeah.
At least part of it. This lake, though,
you could not.
It might as well have been the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge. I remember there was a really cool beach on there as well, wasn't there? Like, it would be a really good beach to go to in the summer.
Definitely.
It just looked like a really well-equipped beach for a good
they
day
had
out.
barbecues in the shape of pirate chests.
Yes.
I was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And that was next to I've actually written down the name of the town, Kokorivo.
Okay.
Kokorivo. God knows how you pronounce it. At Lake Ladoga, which is we ended up driving along the Road of Life.
Yes, unbeknownst to us.
Unbeknownst to us. Well, we only knew because, was it every kilometre?
Yes, there was a marker.
There was a marker, and they alternated, didn't they? One of them had the Russian star, I think, and the others would have like an American. Well, we thought it might have been an American symbol.
Maybe.
We thought, because we had no context what it might have been. We thought it might be some sort of World War thing. It turns out what it was, because this road ends at the lake.
Yeah.
And there's a monument called the Broken Ring Monument.
Yeah.
And that's back when, I've got no idea on dates for this. I just remember St. Petersburg was called Leningrad at the time.
Yeah.
And there was a blockade around it. To, what do they call it?
A siege.
A siege, there you go. And it was at the lake, they crossed the lake through the blockade. And they used that road to get supplies into Leningrad. Yeah. So it would survive.
Yeah.
And that road they call the Road of Life because that's its lifeline. And that Broken Ring Monument is where they must have landed their boats. Yeah, and it was. Things out. And it's just a huge semicircular bit of steel, isn't it? That's just got a break in it. Yeah. And there was that
ring though. Do you know the why it's a broken ring?
Because the ring symbolised the blockade.
Yes, but there was a gap in it. So that broken ring symbolises that gap in the actual blockade that they'd set up, which is the road that they
found the gap and went through it.
Utilised it.
And there was an eternal flame there as well.
Yes, there was. Which was the second we'd seen, I think.
In Russia?
No, just second on the trip.
Oh yeah, well the other one was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, wasn't it?
In France.
Yes. The Arc de Triomphe.
Arc de Triomphe.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, we went to see that, and then unfortunately that was it for our time in Russia. It was like -7. It was at night.
It was cold.
Yeah, luckily the campsite we were stopping at had an incredibly warm kitchen area. Yeah. We could go in there, and we just basically sat and cooked in there as long as possible. Yeah. And they had the lovely warm showers, which they could have done with better ventilation actually, because it started getting the oxygen started getting very wet in there. Yeah. But we did learn a good trick about how to keep warm in our van.
Yeah, we developed.
Because we don't have a diesel heater. No. Which I imagine are brilliant. Yeah. But we don't have one. No. We couldn't get one when we were in Russia. No. So what we did instead, we sort of made a room divider, didn't we? We've got tea towels and cloths and blankets and things. And made like a seal around the bed. And we had, was it a metal biscuit tin? Yes. With candles in.
No, at that point it wasn't.
No?
No, because we bought the biscuits on the way out. Russia.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yes. From the duty free between
Yes.
Russia and Estonia.
Yeah, so we just had candles on a plate at that point, I think.
Okay.
Just in a
Yeah, and that just kept the heat in. I think we were still using the cooker in there to like make tea,
and such. Yeah, just heat up before bed.
boil water, and then so drink a hot drink before you go to bed. We were going to bed fully clothed.
With hot water bottle.
With hot water bottle, but when I say fully clothed, it's like I'm wearing my clothes and my winter socks on top of these, and I was in a onesie, and we were up in all the blankets that we had. Not ideal, but cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and we managed.
We did. We survived. Dargo survived.
Dargo survived more, but when she just gets into bed between us and the hot water bottle,
exactly.
She's sorted. It was funny, we were laughing because now we're stuck in Greece and the temperature's getting high. We've got the exact opposite problem at the moment.
Yeah.
Trying to keep her cool. Luckily we've got air conditioning at the moment, so but that's because not in the van, in this Airbnb we're at.
Yeah.
So yes, unfortunately we were getting too cold. We wanted to head to warmer climates. This was no, it wasn't the last day. We didn't want to cross the border with our insurance expired.
No.
So we paid for 5 days. We didn't want to leave on the 6th day.
No.
Just in case. They were like, well, how did you get here?
Yeah.
You've driven here without insurance. I don't think they even checked the insurance.
They didn't.
But we had been warned that crossing back into the EU would be more problematic than leaving it.
Yes.
Which seems to be a general consensus around the place. I will point out, obviously, we did stop near the border. The screen's just gone black as soon as I wanted to talk about it. No, can't find it. Just down near Estonia. I think the problem was. Sorry? Ivangarad. There you go. Sorry, I was talking over you. Didn't hear that.
It's okay.
Ivangarad. There you go. I was looking at Google Timeline, of course. The other thing, because it's outside the EU, any roaming data or anything with your mobile plan does not count.
No.
You can't use it. So my Google Timeline is a huge gap. Because there were pockets of Wi-Fi we could pick up around St. Petersburg. But the day we left, there's nothing. Ivangarad. And we stopped in the car park outside one of the little insurance kiosks. Right next to an armed passport barricade. So, I mean, we were safer there than anywhere else. And the guy, we just park up.
Yeah, and again, we weren't bothered.
No, we weren't bothered at all.
Like, we weren't bothered at all.
So the morning we got up, we got a passport check. I think we got our passport check 2 or 3 times.
On the way,
On the way, just along that road. And again, they pull up. Russian hats, cigarettes, passports please, thank you, have a good day, and off you go.
Yeah.
We got in. Searches were a bit more thorough.
This time, yeah.
Yeah, leaving Russia. So you pull up, we both had to go up to the booth to get our passports checked.
Yep.
Again, we took the passport. Again, they sort of look at it. No, you don't need this. Don't worry about it. Obviously, you've got your 2 pieces of paper you were given when you enter the country.
Yep. So your customs check and your slip.
Yep. I think they take those, don't they? We didn't get to keep those.
I don't think we did. No.
And then you get back in the queue, and then they come and search you.
Yep.
Now the search, they did bring out the sniffer dogs, which they didn't have on the way in. And the guy wanted to go. He didn't go through everything.
No.
We got the van ready to be searched again, didn't we? We had the bed packed away and everything. But the guy was very polite. He asked me to come on, because I was the driver. He asked me to come in with him. And he just said, could you open that cupboard, please? And he didn't touch anything.
No.
He just very polite, could you open that? So I'd open that, show him what it was. I opened the one cupboard, and it's where we keep all our dirty laundry. And he's like, what's in there? And I started pulling it out, and he's like, okay, yeah, don't worry. Like, you could see what it was. This is all as the dog's going round. We got out. They did ask to see our passports again.
Yes.
But I think because they were sort of looking at our number plate and pointing.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to know where we'd come from.
Yeah.
And I think they must have been disappointed because obviously we'd only been to the EU at this point. So we had no stamps. We only had the Russian stamps. And obviously from other places we'd been before this trip. And then they let us go. That was it.
Yeah.
And then you've got the no man's land bit, which did have a duty-free shop.
Yes. Which
we managed to get in just before a busload of people started coming in.
Yep.
That's where we got our biscuits from. And then onto the Estonia side, which we're going to cover the border crossing in this episode because I think most people will go to Estonia from the EU side.
Estonia from the EU side?
What did I say?
It doesn't matter. So they'll go...
No, most people listening to this won't be... Most people who want to go to Estonia won't go from Russia.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
I'm saying we should cover it in this episode because
Okay.
it's a Russian-centric thing crossing this border. So on the Ethiopian, on the Estonian side, very much the same. You pull up, you get into your own little... Each booth had a parking bay.
Yeah.
And the woman sort of waved us into there, and we pulled up, and she went through all the documents. Again, she looked at the pet passport, didn't really care.
No.
This is when I was more worried because of how easy it was with Russia.
Yeah.
And because of the vet in Finland saying that getting back into the EU is the problem.
Yeah.
This is when I was actually more nervous at the Estonian bit than at the Russian part. And it did take a while for us to get through.
Yeah.
But only because I don't think she'd ever seen a V5
No.
before. Never seen a British vehicle registration document before.
No.
And she ended up getting 2 other people in to try and help her. And they were looking very confused at it. They just couldn't figure out where anything was.
Yeah.
But they eventually found it all. And we were let through. And we were in Estonia. In the Baltics.
Yep.
Where, the only thing I'll say about Estonia in this episode is as we were driving along, we'd spent that time in Russia and we hadn't realised that they were an hour further ahead than Finland was.
That's true.
So we thought we thought it was getting dark quite early. It's because our clocks were further back than the rest of the country.
We'd spent like the entire time in Russia being on the wrong time compared to the country.
I mean, we were looking at clocks, weren't we? Well, they haven't changed because the clocks had only just gone back.
Yeah.
And we were looking at their clocks and they haven't put their clocks back yet. God, I was surprised. Russia, I'd have thought they'd have had them back straight away. But no, that was us. We'd been an hour ahead of everybody that whole time. It's a good job we didn't have to book a time to cross the border.
Exactly.
But no, Russia was such a pleasant surprise.
It was.
In everybody, we didn't see any unfriendly people.
No.
Everybody we interacted with was friendly and as helpful as they could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have been grumbling something in Russian at us, we don't know.
But nobody did.
But
like,
no,
you can usually tell if somebody does that.
If they did, they had a friendly tone of voice.
Exactly.
And they smiled while they did it. No, it was excellent. Everything's very cheap. It was, I'd argue, it was maybe cheaper than Morocco.
No.
Morocco's
cheaper.
We're certainly the cheapest place we've been at that point. You know, after coming through Western Europe and Scandinavia.
Yeah.
It was such a relief to be able to go out and eat without worrying about it.
Yeah.
We could treat ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course we got Russian hats.
We did.
Because we're in Russia. Of course
Russia.
And we went. The thing that was quite surprising, other than when we walked past over one of the bridges and there were a public dance to Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Was it Cotton Eye? No, it was Black Betty, wasn't it?
No, it was Cotton Eye Joe.
It was Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
And you just think, okay, this is a bit crazy. We did miss the bridges. I didn't know till we got there. There's a whole thing about they raise the bridges at a certain time of night.
Yes.
It's only really a concern if you're driving around or plan to be out late at night.
Yeah.
Which we're not in winter because it gets too cold. But the bridges raise at different times each night and you have to sort of look it up. And we were far enough out of the town that it wasn't really worth.
It wasn't that, it was also as soon as the bridges open, because they're left open for the night.
Yeah.
So as soon as the bridges open, the metro doesn't run either.
Oh, yeah.
So once you're out to see the bridges, you've either got to get a taxi back or make your own way back. And we were quite far out of the city for that purpose.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So it would have been nice to have seen that, but we didn't get to see that. And yeah, just like there are armed police
around,
in the big long coats with the Russian hats. But and again because my sister and brother-in-law have been to Russia, to St. Petersburg a couple of times, and I think they were stopped at one point. So we were sort of, whenever I saw police walking near us, I was sort of expecting them to try and stop us. But no, we had nothing. No second glances. I did get searched going into a metro station because I had my bag on me.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, do take my coat off, do this, and just put your bag in, and he goes, so yeah, okay, no worries, off you go.
Yeah.
You know. The other thing that really sticks out for me though was, because you go to a lot of European cities, and you'll see, oh, this is on this site, this building was bombed in the war.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing you see in European cities. And I think we were actually following the European trail. Here we go, do you remember that? There was a walking trail around the city, because different buildings had been built by people from different European countries.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that.
And we were up by one of the rivers.
Yeah.
And that's when we started noticing that a lot of the sites, instead of, oh, this site was bombed in the war, it's like, on this site, there was
an uprising.
Or protests.
And then a massacre.
Which ended when they were gunned down. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. That's a tonal shift. I mean, they all seem friendly now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
it's got a very troubled past.
It does. Russia. But as it stands, it's a very friendly place.
Yeah, wonderful place to go.
Very easy to get around. We could have spent so much money going into all the buildings. Remember rounding that corner and seeing the huge, it's like quite a black cathedral.
Yeah.
The golden dome.
Yeah, they look like St. Paul's to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge. Oh, we want to go in, and it was a bit pricey to get in. Again.
Plus, there was massive queues for that one.
Yes, there was a big queue for that. Then we had to walk all the way around the building to get a ticket, and then all the way back to get in, and there was a queue to get in. Excuse me. Again, we were doing this trip, or are doing this trip, on a budget.
Yeah.
Which, given how cheap the food was, I thought we'd rather indulge in some food.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, rather than going and visit things. But it just means, that's the balance, I suppose, if you are going to St. Petersburg for a week.
Yeah.
Which I'd like to do. I'd like to go back there and go into a lot of these places.
Definitely.
Because if there anything, I remember we saw pictures of that church on the inside, and it very nearly made us want to go in.
Yeah.
We just found a leaflet. I know we ended up buying a little book, didn't we? St. Petersburg book, and it had pictures of it on the inside. It's like, yeah, I want to see that. But everybody goes on about the Sistine Chapel. It's like, yeah, there's some nice pictures. Doesn't look as good as that place though.
No.
But yeah, that was Russia. We were so anxious about it, well, what issues we may have, and we had none at all.
Nope. Pleasant surprise.
A very pleasant surprise, and it kind of helped us whenever we were worried about any other, say, crossing into Morocco or anything like that. I thought, no, we managed Russia.
We've been to Russia, it's fine.
We got in and out of Russia, that was easy. How hard can anything else be?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I think that is it for Russia. I can think. No, I think that's it. So thank you very much for listening, especially if you made us this far. Once again, we're getting regular listeners from all over the world.
Cool.
We're incredibly grateful for you putting up with us.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're falling asleep to us talking or what, but it's...
Could you imagine if that's what people do? They listen to us because we put them to sleep.
Well, we're helping.
Yeah.
Either way, we're helping.
Glad we can be of assistance.
Yes, and if you'd like to rate or review for us on your platform of choice, that will help us get exposed to more people we can help send to sleep.
Yes.
With our boring stories. If you've been listening through a podcast service, you may be interested to know every episode is also up on the YouTube channel, along with our weekly video diaries. New podcasts are posted every Wednesday. Video diaries are posted every Sunday. We don't have a URL at the moment for YouTube, so you just search for Catavan or CatavanCast and you'll find us on there. Likewise, if you have been listening to us on YouTube, we are available on pretty much any podcast service you care to think of. So just search for Catavan or CatavanCast and you'll find us on there. Please do get in touch with us about any queries, questions, corrections, suggestions, criticisms, praise, anything you may have.
Anything at all.
You can leave a comment for us on YouTube, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we are at CatavanUK, or you can email us at catavanuk@gmail.com. Finally, Redbubble.
Yes. We are up on Redbubble. We are going. We have more products than we did before. We've got more designs on there as well, because I've been using this Airbnb opportunity to add some more on there.
Yes.
Because I have thousands upon thousands of pictures, and it is great fun going through every single one.
Yes.
And choosing ones that people might be interested in.
Yes.
having on a mask or a backpack or whatever now.
Well, you're doing well for masks at the moment, aren't
Yeah, the monk parakeet's doing
you?
well.
Yes. Masks are very much in at the moment.
Yes, they are. Funny.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's quite cool. So head over there. If there's anything that you've seen on Instagram or Facebook and you want that on a mask or whatnot, let me know and I will add it.
And how can you find that? Just search
For Catavan on Redbubble.
There you go. Takes you to your store.
Simple, yes.
Easy.
Straight to the store.
And that's it for this week. We'll be back next week where we'll be talking about Estonia, finally getting into the Baltics. So if you have any questions or comments about that place, please do get in touch with us.
Yes.
I've been Ben.
I've been Frey. And Dago is now awake.
Well, she's cleaning herself.
It's only been like 4 episodes that she's been asleep on a chair.
She sleeps a lot, that one.
She's a cat.
She has it too easy. She does. So that's all for us.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.